The demise of King Kalaniopeu ushers in a new ruler-in-chief of war. Episode 4. Kiua, his son, ascends to the throne. There are significant problems here, though, as Kamehameha, also known as the god of war, now possesses the actual military weight, even though Kiua remains the top authority figure. He obviously recognized the man's strategic attitude from the previous episode, and this choice was decided before the king's death. Pointing out that Kamehameha is snatching his birthright, Kiua is furious. Infighting unavoidably results when Kiua rejects his brother, despite Kamehameha's desire to try to resolve the conflict. Kiua thinks the man is a lowborn who isn't deserving of the praise. Kiua declares war on his cousin by punching himself repeatedly till he knocks off a tooth. When Kahekili learns of the king's death in the kingdom of Oahu, he makes the decision to summon the war generals. His goal is to seize control of Hawaii and act quickly. However, one of the Maui chiefs is unsure if this is a wise move. He questions the veracity of this assertion next to the prophecy after killing the young king and losing Kaiana. Because of his bloodlust, Kahekili feels compelled to eradicate every member of the royal family until there is just one. According to his interpretation of the prophecy, his lineage, and his lineage alone, will become the dominant force. He will not stray from this course. Kahumanu, who is now married, has missed quite a number of her English classes with John. She is unhappy about being a submissive wife, but John tells her that marriage offers freedom. It takes her some time to grasp how wise this statement is, but she finally does when she confronts her husband. As Kamehameha gets ready for battle, Kahumanu advises him to make his own decisions if the gods don't speak. When the gods don't respond to his cries, Kamehameha makes the crucial decision to play defense, becoming ready for a battle should Kiua approach him without attacking first. When Kaiana wakes up, he discovers that Tony hasn't gone back to his bed. Vi dismisses his worries about Tony, but Kaiana senses that something is wrong. He's horrified to see people in cages, including a crying infant and helpless women. This incites a deep-seated rage that is too much for the native, and he vents his frustrations on a soldier in the middle of the street, drawing harsh punishment from the military. Kaiana flees and hides, but it doesn't help his journey home, and it puts Vi in a difficult situation as well, as she begs the captain to wait for Kaiana that evening. When Kaiana is finally discovered hidden inside, Vi is urged to leave before it's too late. Vi thinks the ship has sailed, despite Kaiana's urgent search for Tony. Additionally, the captain has deceived him and plans to set sail that evening. Kaiana is honor-bound and committed to finding his friend, but he also has the guns and can return home to fight his war. Kaiana sets out to retrieve him after discovering that he might be in a warehouse with other slaves. Kaiana frees all the slaves and burns the place down after taking out a number of the guards. However, it's complete chaos as the slaves rebel and destroy their oppressors, and Kaiana eventually locates Tony, who appears to be in terrible shape. Vi is also present, and as they depart, the night sky is illuminated by the orange glow of the warehouse fire. As the guns are put onto the ship and Samoanga is engulfed in turmoil, Kaiana makes it to the pier and aboard the ship. The gods have gone silent, he laments, obviously struggling with genuine feelings of unworthiness, but when Kahumanu explains that this is all the more reason to make the decision himself, it's exactly what he needs to hear. However, the miracle was made possible by a fortunate mini-quake that moved the ground beneath the stone so Kamehameha could flip it over at that exact moment. Kamehameha tells his people of his choice after bringing the god of war to his local shrine. This is only one of the show's many dramatic shots that use the vivid color of the Hawaiians' capes, costumes, and helmets against the green backdrop so well that they could copyright it. He won't go after Kiua. However, Kiua will lose if he fights them. One of his supporters yells, "But the war god is silent, my chief. Therefore, the choice is mine," Kamehameha responds. Chief Moku turns to face his daughter Kahumanu, whom he has forbidden from getting involved in the situation. He is aware that her husband is saying these things, but how can he not be impressed since she achieved the outcomes he was unable to? Which essentially sums up my feelings about this episode. Chief of War's use of color and composition, as well as its willingness to occasionally employ film grammar tricks, this episode features a fast fade/cut hybrid that made this TV critic squirm, are audacious and remarkable. It feels extremely current because of its readiness to go large, huge pictures, big events, big declarations, big feelings. Its usage of the Hawaiian language is very original, and its cast is fantastic. Even though I still long for a fantasy/historical epic that can film a city at night without using a lot of blue and orange digital color grading, it all worked out because Jason Momoa killed like a dozen slavers. The way this conflict is going to unfold changes significantly at the halfway point of the season. The other chiefs are truly questioning Kahekili's tactics because of his bloodlust, and there are many doubts about this leadership after Kayana was lost in the conflict. Kayana, meantime, finds it difficult to control his aggression and ends up in difficulty. I suppose the route back to the pier wasn't as horrible as it could have been, even though there aren't any guards or warning bells sounding despite the warehouse burning down. Although Kamehameha's plot is perhaps the poorest in the entire series, she is beginning to see the strength and power of uniting her voice with another as she begins to accept the concept of marriage and cooperating with Kamehameha rather than against him. However, the visual effects and cinematography are superb. However, this chapter doesn't advance the plot very much and is a touch slow in certain spots. I hope the upcoming episodes ramp up a little more speed.